Hey guys, this is chess coach Andrew Rankin. Today I want to share with you the 5th video installment in the series Buffing Your Black Repertoire. Today's video features the second game in the Noteboom. This was a game I played recently online on chess.com against a 2100 rated opponent. The game is brief, it's only 22 moves long, and most importantly I want to use it to re-emphasize how much fun this opening is to play from the black side, how black has a clear plan from beginning to middle to end. And I want to re-emphasize the opening principles that we need to adhere to in this opening, and those are the things that we learned in the last video, which was the introduction to the Noteboom. So those principles are: number one, we're not playing this opening to win a pawn and hold on to it, so we're gladly willing to give that pawn back. Number two, piece trades are excellent and for the most part only help black. Number three, any deviations from the main line often hurts white significantly. We'll see an example in this game. Number four, we use tactics to push our pawns, and five, vice versa, our pawn pushes help facilitate tactics. So of course this is a variation in the Semislav, so the game begins with d4, d5, c4, c6, knight c3, e6, the Semislav, knight f3, which is the beginning of the Noteboom, and we decide to go down that line with d takes c4. Our opponent plays a4, correct move, and we want to play the move b5, but at the moment, after b5, he'll play pawn takes, knight takes. So because of that, we need to pin the knight with bishop to b4. He plays the move e3, attacking our c4 pawn, so we play the move b5. He takes, we take. He could also play the move bishop to d2 first. It does not matter, the moves simply transpose. Now he plays the move bishop to d2. We take the knight, he takes with the bishop, much better than taking with the pawn, which would make the bishop a bad piece on d2. And now we have to play the move a5. Very important, we stop the bishop from controlling this very powerful dark squared diagonal. He pushes the pawn. Now this is the first deviation from the mainline theory, and this is a really good example of the fact that really high-level players don't know how to combat the Noteboom. For example, although this isn't the same game, I recently played over the board against a expert rated opponent. I played this defense for black. He deviated from the main line around the same time. I think this is move 10. I think he did so too on move 10 and proceeded to lose the game. So yeah, white really needs to know their theory if they want to stay in there with black. So d5, it's a clear threat, right? He wants to win on g7 and then win our rook, but we can block this threat pretty easily. We just play knight to f6, and he takes our knight, and we'll talk about this in a minute, why this is really not the idea that white should be doing. Queen takes. The queen is now very nicely placed, and we'll see that this long diagonal attacking the rook on a1 ends up winning us the game. He takes on e6, and now bishop takes on e6. And I think black already has no problems. We've reached equality, and yeah, we didn't really have to do anything special. He plays knight to d4, attacking our bishop. Bishop drops back to d6, defending our b5 pawn. He plays the move b3. Now again, I want to re-emphasize, we're not playing this opening to win the c4 pawn and hold on to it. We're gladly willing to give it back because we want to get two connected pass pawns. So we castle here, he takes, and now we push b4. And I want to stop here and talk a little bit about why white has already gone wrong. First of all, it's important to realize that white saw that black got exactly what he wanted in the opening and therefore decided to lash out. But lashing out is him seeking immediate counterplay. But in this situation, black had only two connected pass pawns, when really white would, if he had played the theory, had plenty of compensation. He would have had a monster center. He would have had the bishop pair, which he traded off. He would have had control of the dark squares. And there was simply no reason to rush for white, because if white plays calmly and logically, his counterplay would definitely have come. And my pawns aren't going anywhere, right? These 2-pass pawns aren't going anywhere anytime soon if the bishop is still on b2 and he's got, 3 center pawns. We would have just had a game. But instead, in this position, there's too many pieces traded off for white to really generate counterplay, and the passed pawns are just going to facilitate a quick win. So white develops his bishop to d3. We play knight to c6, looking to trade pieces. White obliges, knight takes, bishop takes, and now we're threatening the g2 pawn. So white castles. We play rook to d8, threatening to put pressure on the pinned piece and win the bishop, so he breaks the pin with queen c2. Also creates a threat of winning our h-pawn, but we shut down that battery real quick with the move g6. We also create some nice luft for our king. He plays rook to d1, and now our bishop is nicely placed, attacking the king side as well as facilitating pawn movement on the queen side, and is centrally located. So we can play the move a4. He plays bishop to e4, looking to trade off the defender of my a-pawn. But we can insert the move b3, attacking the queen. And now white is really in trouble because the queen is really overloaded, protecting the rooks, the bishop, and this rook needs to be attacking a4. So really what white should have done is probably a move like just moving the queen back. Well, that doesn't work, actually. Yeah, I think white is already busted, because if the queen goes back, then we can take. Queen has to take, and then we win the bishop. And if the queen moves anywhere off from the defense of the bishop, then of course we can just win it. So my opponent decided to play rook takes d8, rook takes d8, but then he resigned here because he realized that his queen has to move. His rook is under attack, his bishop is under attack, and the pawns are moving forward. So black didn't do anything special, adhered to the opening principles that I told you about, and had a really fun and exciting quick win. So I hope that was educational for you guys and re-emphasize some things that we learned in the first video on the Noteboom. All right, take care. Bye.